1945, as World War II was ending, kamikaze pilot Koichi Shikishima lands his damaged plane, a Mitsubishi A6M0, at a Japanese base on Odo Island. Lead mechanic Sosaku Tachibana realizes that Shikishima is pretending to have problems with his plane to avoid flying. That night, Godzilla, a huge dinosaur-like monster, attacks the base. Tachibana tells Shikishima to shoot at Godzilla from his plane, but Shikishima panics, misses, and gets knocked out. When he wakes up the next day, he finds Tachibana is the only other survivor, and Tachibana is angry at him for not fighting back. Shikishima returns home to discover that his parents were killed in a bombing in Tokyo. Feeling guilty for surviving, he starts helping a woman named Noriko Oishi, whose parents also died in the bombing, and an orphaned baby named Akiko that Noriko saved. Shikishima gets a job on a minesweeper, a ship that removes old naval mines. Meanwhile, Godzilla is growing stronger because of US nuclear tests. The monster sinks a US submarine and attacks several ships on its way to Japan. The US offers little help, and the Japanese government keeps the threat a secret to avoid panic. In May 1947, Shikishima and his crew go to the Ogasawara Islands to try to slow Godzilla down. They drop a mine into Godzilla's mouth and blow it up, hurting the monster, but it quickly heals. The heavy cruiser Takao then fights Godzilla but gets destroyed by its heat ray. Back in Tokyo, Shikishima talks to Noriko about Godzilla. Soon after, Godzilla arrives in Japan and attacks the Ginza district, where Noriko works. She barely escapes but is caught in the destruction caused by Godzilla's heat ray, which kills many people. Shikishima tries to save her but is devastated when she is presumed dead. Frustrated with the government's inaction, former naval engineer Kenji Noda comes up with a plan to kill Godzilla. He wants to lure the monster to Sagami Bay, surround it with tanks of Freon gas, and blow them up to sink Godzilla. If that doesn't work, balloons will be used to force it back up, causing it to explode. Noda gathers Navy veterans to help him. Shikishima asks Tachibana to fix a damaged fighter plane, the Kyushu J-7W Shinden, so he can make a suicide attack on Godzilla. He plans to fly into Godzilla's mouth and explode the plane. He leaves baby Akiko with his neighbor Sumiko before heading out. As Shikishima lures Godzilla to the trap, Sumiko receives a telegram meant for him. Godzilla survives the initial attack but is seriously injured when the plane forces it back up. With help from tugboats, the ships pull Godzilla to the surface. Furious, Godzilla gets ready to attack the ships with its heat ray, but Shikishima crashes his plane into Godzilla's mouth, destroying its head. The explosion tears Godzilla apart. The crew celebrates as Shikishima safely ejects from his plane, thanks to Tachibana's help. Back home, Sumiko gives Shikishima the telegram, which leads him to a hospital where he finds Noriko, who survived but has a bruise on her neck. Meanwhile, a piece of Godzilla's flesh starts to regenerate as it sinks into the ocean.